Yeah.
Moving to the NFC South here, Max. Starting with the Atlanta Falcons. All right, picking 8th overall. I'm going to die on this hill. I'm going to just take this all the way until we don't see it happen. If Rome Odunze is on the board,
Wow.
8th for the Falcons, they should take him. They should I know they need a pass rusher. I know they need a corner and a little more on defense. Build the defense later in the draft. Even if this is the only offensive player you take in this draft, I think they have to take him. I think if you have Kirk Cousins, top 3 offensive line, Bijan and Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Darnell Mooney, if you add Odunze into that, just one more weapon, I think they could be the best offense in the NFC. And I think I would rather have the best offense in the NFC than wait on a pass rusher to develop. And Odunze could walk in there and get 1,000 yards in that offense right now with Cousins throwing to him. I think, again, this is another one. I think for the Falcons and the Bears and the Jets, all of them, I think I need a third legitimate weapon. I need one more. Football's played with 3 receivers on the field now. You get that third guy, if you get Odunze to any of those 3 teams, but I think Atlanta picking first, I would do it. I would, if I'm the Falcons, if Odunze or Neighbors for any reason is on the board at 8, I've got to do it. I just have to. Because how could you not look at that group of guys and go, that's not one of the top 5, if not top 3 offenses in football if Kirk Cousins is healthy.
Dude, I love it. I love it. Imagine just jump balls between him, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts, man, and then Bijan Robinson coming out of that backfield. Kirk Cousins, oh, dude, that's awesome. That's an awesome offense. So, yeah, PFF Zach Robinson, who former employee here at PFF, now the offensive coordinator for the Falcons. He's going to have a lot of fun there, man. If he gets Rome Odunze in that offense, and probably PFF Zach will be a head coach next year with how electric that Falcons offense could be, honestly. So I love that. Panthers here I have, and they actually don't have a first-round pick because obviously traded away to the Bears when they took Bryce Young, which ended up being the number 1 overall pick, and they probably regret that now, trading away DJ Moore and that number 1 overall pick. But anyways, they're here at 33 overall, and I think at 33, they have to take a receiver, I think, to help out Bryce Young. And I think I already used Ladd McConkey. That'd be another answer I would love here for the Panthers here. So I'm not going to go Ladd McConkey. I'll just give you a different answer. I kind of like Troy Franklin in that offense too. I think he'd be a guy that would really help out Bryce Young as a kind of like a vertical threat for them. Very fluid player as well. Got to put on some weight. I think he's around like 180 pounds right now at 6'3". So bigger, taller receiver, great length, but not a bigger receiver. So the handling press coverage, you could tell on his tape, man, he's got to get stronger because anytime he faces press coverage, he could kind of get bumped off his spot pretty easily. But other than that, though, I think he's a really, really good player in this draft and could be a first-round pick in the draft as well. But if he's there at 33 overall, him, Ladd McConkey, those would be a couple guys that I really want that Carolina to get in that receiver room because right now they need to do something to figure out whether or not Bryce Young can be the guy for them. And they got Deontay Johnson already, and they got Adam Thielen there as well. But I think you get a guy like Troy Franklin who could start in place of Jonathan Mingo. That'd be a really, really fun vertical threat for them and a bigger receiver. They don't really have the size in that receiver room right now besides Jonathan Mingo with Deontay Johnson and Adam Thielen. So I like Troy Franklin as kind of a guy as a bigger vertical threat for Bryce Young to throw to in that offense.
No, I agree with that. And I think getting Deontay Johnson's a really underrated move. He's one of the best receivers in football in the short game. They need a guy to take the top off. Yeah. And I think Franklin, maybe a week or two ago, I was writing down some ideal fits, and he was it for the Panthers for me too. I like that a lot. The long speed, the ability to get safeties out of the box. Dave Canales is going to want to run the ball and use his RPO game and all that. I think Franklin, he may not in his rookie year be like statistically great, but I think his fit there in that offense would help the entire team a lot. I like that. I got the Saints next, and I actually, this might have been the hardest team on the board. I think a left tackle makes a ton of sense, but Fashanu was already taken. There's another guy that we'll get to later that you really wanted on another team. So I'm like I was kind of thinking of ideas for the Saints, and I came across a stat, Max. The Saints last year were 31st, only ahead of the Panthers in yards after catch per reception. And I was thinking about it. I was like, well, who could they get if they can't get one of the top 3 receivers? And then, we've mentioned with Brock Bowers a lot, the Jets and the Colts.
Yep.
But if he was sitting there at 14 for the Saints, okay, they have Jawan Johnson and Taysom Hill's listed as a tight end, but he's Taysom Hill, right? He does like all those other things, and he does all the Taysom Hill stuff. He's even still playing special teams.
Right.
What if Brock Bowers played in New Orleans? They need another weapon. Michael Thomas, everything happened with him, and now he's gone. They have Chris Olave. Kamara's not getting any younger. You've got Rashid Shaheed, who's a solid deep threat. What if Bowers came in and fixed their yards after the catch problems? Because you think about Derek Carr too. A lot of his best moments in Oakland. Did he make it to Vegas? I don't even remember if he actually played in Vegas.
I don't think he did. No.
A lot of his
either way,
a lot of his best moments with the Raiders, wherever they were, was with Darren Waller, right? And a good tight end and somebody to check to in the intermediate parts of the field. Brock Bowers, I think to the Saints, it might be a match that we're not talking about enough. And he would really upgrade their tight end room and allow Taysom Hill to move around even more than he already does.
Dude, Brock Bowers is probably my favorite player in this draft, so I think he's a fit for any of the 32 teams in the NFL right now. But I think, the Saints there, who really need help in yards after the catch, can't get one of the top guys. I agree with you, man. That'd be a great pick for them in that tight end room if they want to take him there at 14. All right, rounding out the NFC South with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another one of my favorite players in the draft, another one of our favorite players in the draft is Laiatu Latu from UCLA, who I think would fit that defense so well when they run a 3-4 defense. They just lost Shaq Barrett as well. You look at what they're starting right now. At edge, they got Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, and they have Yaya Diaby. And I like what Diaby showed last year as a rookie, but I just think, man, you got to add more talent there, and I think Laiatu Latu is the best edge in this class, and if he's somehow there, to his credit, and thankfully he's getting a lot higher on a lot of other big boards right now, so he might not be there. It seems like he's going to be a top 20 pick now, which is good. So he might not be there at 26 overall. So, but I still think if he does somehow fall there, I think that's the slam dunk grand slam pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers there at 26. Another guy who I think will be there that I also like the fit there is Chop Robinson from Penn State. I think that'd also be a really good fun fit in that defense. And I think Todd Bowles could do a really good job of extracting that ceiling out of Chop Robinson, who's kind of a boomer bust player right now. But I think Laiatu Latu should be the preferred option for the Buccaneers there at 26. 96.3 PFF grade last year, highest we've ever seen by a Power 5 player. Like I said, I think that's a big need for the Buccaneers. And if he's somehow there at 26, that'd be an unbelievable pick there for Tampa Bay.